Alright, you bastards, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today we're going to talk about how to be a grey man and bug out of a big city. But before we do that, if you're interested in detective stories, I wrote the first part of a 11-part series called Bloody Crosses, is in Dutch. If you're interested, the link will be down in the description. So, bugging out from a big city. There is one thing that I personally hate, and that is big, the big city. Everything is concrete. The mentality is totally different. There are almost no. It's not in my element because I always lived on the countryside. So that's the survival style that I'm used to. But if I ever have to live in a city and I have to get out, there are certain challenges that are different than from the countryside. Yeah, that's the reason why I'm decked out like this, to show you how to bug out from a city and to be a grey man. Because living in a if there is shit in the fan in a city, people will go into it because these are usually people that are the most dependent on the grid. These are people that are more, I would say, they tend to be more quicker in using violence because there are more in cities. There are more criminal elements, and because they are dependent and they lose that, they are quicker to do something because their needs are a little bit higher than people from the countryside, and in the city there are more people with mental and psychological trouble because that's statistically true for almost every city. And a shit hit the fan, everybody will go apeshit, and that will turn into a sort of pseudo, what's that movie called? The Purge kind of situation where people start to go apeshit. So if you get to get out of the city, you cannot go like with all my other videos with your bug out bag and clothing that is more suitable for living in the countryside or in the wild. So if you can see, you probably, if somebody has a keen eye, they would probably have seen that I wear a sports sweater over my bug out jacket. I will show you in a minute. Why do I do this? Because if I would wear something that looks the slightest tactical, people with bad intentions or people who are really desperate, which is something highly possible in a big city during a city defense situation, they will see you as a target. They will see he's prepared, I'm gonna take his shit, I'm gonna rob him, I'm going to ask for him, and he doesn't give me, I will kick his ass. So that's something you have to be a grey man. You have to blend in the city. You have to look like you ain't got shit. You have to look like you're not worth of the trouble. So that's why I put this. So I would say, if you're going to bug out, wear something that is typical worn in the city. Sport shoes or sneakers, jogging pants, and put over your bug out jacket. Put something that will not look out of the ordinary, like this sports sweater. Your backpack should just look like a normal backpack, not a hiker bag or a tactical bag or a military bag, because that will make you instantly into a target. So if you can see, I just have this small backpack, and it just looks like something normal. And something that you need to do with your small backpack is make it look like you ain't got shit, like I said. So put inside something like this. I will show you in a minute. Here in this backpack there is a metal metal canteen for a lot of water, but I, for on purpose, put a plastic bottle that is half empty, visible in the sports sack in this section, because if people see you walking around and they are desperate to say, and they see you walking around and they see, oh, he only got a small plastic bottle and it's half empty, they will think he ain't got shit or it's not worth the trouble. In contrary, you can escape from the city without needing to be dependent on the water source, because inside of the backpack there will be a big metal water canteen. So that's a little bit of deception. So I will take this off, because first I would say if you're going to bug out of a city, there is still a chance that your backpack will be stolen. That they will say, give me your backpack, we will kick your ass, or I will stab you, I will shoot you. You can just hand over the backpack, because if you get out your backpack, you still have your bug out jacket, and they don't know what's inside of it. They think that's just a jacket, but this is actually your main bug out clothing actually. So I'm gonna take this off. So yeah, also wear a cap or something that's just look like you're going to a sports game or stadium or something like this. But beneath my sports sweater, as you can see, this will look a little bit more tactical. If you can say this is one of the shell jacket, but this has so many pockets, you can stuff so much in. So if you get robbed, they steal or rob your backpack. No problem, because you still have everything. I will take everything out. I made a video about a bug out jacket. So yeah, this is more specifically designed with the continents for bugging out of a big city. So what do you need? First of all, wait. I'm going to start first with what's in your pockets, because these things will be something that you need to grab quickly. So what I'm talking about, if you have a cell phone, I would say get one of these older, not non-interesting, because they will, if there are criminal gangs or someone criminal, and they see you walking around with an expensive smartphone, they think that's worth it to take it and pawn it or sell it or something. But if they see you something walking around with this, they will think you're ancient. They will not really bother you. Always have two wallets, one real wallet, and always have one wallet with a little bit cash and fake cards, like an old debit card that is not in use anymore, or something identifications from something else, like a fake or something. So if you get robbed, you can just hand over the fake wallet. They will think, oh, there's a little bit cash, they cannot test the debit card yet, and they walk around happy, and you are still alive, and you have your real wallet inside of your pocket. So that's something really important to have with you. Talking about robberies, I always would carry something like this in my pocket, something that I can grab quickly, and that is my improvised pepper spray. So if you see somebody coming up to you and you think he's up to no good, you can already take it out, pop it up, and splash in his face and get out. And yeah, it will not be a good day for him, but at least there will be no altercations later on if you meet that person again, because yeah, you don't want to kill anybody, because otherwise you have their brother, their friends, and their family against you or after you. So yeah, a little bit of bottle of pepper spray, always handy, and a lighter. Because often in the city there will be people asking for a light, and you do not want to open up your bug out jacket or your backpack to get a lighter, even when it's an excuse or something. You will not show what you got. You can just take it out of your pocket and here, fire, and just put it back in, and they will not have no idea that you have all this kind of shit. So yeah, very important. So now we're going to the bug out jacket. So what I would put in my bug out jacket is this, as you can see, my lockpick set. This is a small lockpick set, so if you need to get around buildings, get into buildings or gates or whatever it is with something with locks, if you have the skills to picklock, I would say look into my video about picklocking. This will be very handy to open it. And yeah, in an urban area there are more locks, more closed doors, more gates and whatever. So a picklock set could be very handy, and practice with it, that's very important. And of course, the multi-tool, very, very important. If you have one of those wire fences, you can use it to cut it open and get through an area without risking to go into areas where there are more people, more potential crime, or perhaps there are some posts where the military or police checkpoints or something. So you can get around or get into places to more safely than the hundreds of thousands of other people that's just walking around in the streets losing their minds. So yeah, a multi-tool, and it's also good for everything else. and also for self-defense with a knife or just any task. Always have a multi-tool with you. And one thing. And always have a chip with photos and copies of all of your documentation. That's something that I always put if I'm going on a bug out. Yeah, so if you're going to a checkpoint and you lost your ID, you lost your wallet or whatever, and yeah, you at least have all your information about your bank accounts, your insurance, your whatever it is, money, identifications, birth certificates, yeah, all that important information. Always put it on chip and keep it with you in case you lose your wallet and you need to. If you're going to be a refugee or going to bug out, it always could be handy. The reason also why I use a bug out jacket is, like I said, if your backpack will get stolen and you have direct access to everything, so in case you need something. So this is another thing. If you can see, this is I made a video also about this silk hockey. These things could be handy to gain some water in the city. With this, you can open up certain water pipelines or faucets or whatever you have in cities. This is especially designed for this. So you can open up several water sources inside of the city while everybody else is thirsty or trying to lick water from the street or waiting till it's raining. Because if shit hit a fan in a city, the public waterway will not be safe to drink or not be working at all. So yeah, a silk hockey and together with some tools could be very handy and yeah, could save your life in a big city to gain some water sources. Flashlight, just yeah, I would say it's because I have a backpack. In my backpack I have a light with a crank, but you can use a big light like this. Make sure that the batteries are always full, and you can also use it for self-defense. Shine it in somebody's eyes. There are several options on this, like this, and that way you can get in with a knife or with pepper spray or whatever to blind them a little bit, to disorientate them. Could be a little bit handy, but mainly because in a city when there is a blackout or electricity is not working, if you're going to scavenge into a building, it's always handy to have a flashlight. And this one has several modes to see from far and also from very close, and to put the light a little bit dimmer, so yeah, it's not visible from far away. So yeah, I'm going to this side. Yeah, always have I have this 10-in-1 multi-tool survival tool. So yeah, the most thing I would use about this is the compass to navigate around in the city, and perhaps to look, always put it as slow as possible, to look around the corner to see if there is nobody there without showing your face. Could be handy in dangerous situations with dangerous people. And yeah, another thing I want to show you is if you're going into the city, if you're going to bug out of the city, it could be handy to have a compass like that. But it's all sometimes dangerous, like I said, to take it out and people will know, oh, he's got a compass, he must be some sort of weird survival guy. So what you can do is just pretend like you have a watch, and with paracord you have a small compass, and you can navigate around the city by just looking like this, like you're looking at a watch. And yeah, but the problem that is there could be also people who would like to steal your watch. So if you have a watch, first of all, try to hide it. I have a watch here beneath my around my wrist, and you don't see it because I put it down. Make sure that it cannot pop out, because if I would use a watch, I would use one of those mechanical watch. Why? Because yeah, electricity could go down, EMP, whatever. They are more sensitive. So yeah, I would use a mechanical watch to see what time it is, because that could be important to check out patrols or times where people get out or certain curfews are on. So yeah, especially for a curfew, that could be very important to know what time it is, especially if you're going to evacuate during a bug out. Or to be honest, a watch like this could also be handy for if you are going to get mugged or you need to bribe someone. Bribing, we will talk about that later more, but if you have to bribe a police guard or a military guard for letting you out, or somebody else, a janitor or whoever can block your path or warn people that you are here, you can bribe them with a watch, especially one of those mechanical watches are more, how do you say this, more something to barter than, yeah, than something electrical. So these could be more worth in that kind of situation. What do I have next? Of course, some Israeli bandages. Yeah, if in case you get into an altercation, you get wounded, or somebody else, somebody's with you is wounded. This is something between a pressure bandage and a tourniquet. So yeah, always have one of these at hand. So if you have a knife fight or you had some wound, you can put some pressure on it and still get out. Try to get out of the city, and it's not too bad. So yeah, next thing I would say to have is a tourniquet itself. Yeah, got to always be handy to have one of these. It's together with the Israeli bandage. It's not really that necessary if you're going to bug out, but it's always handy to have one just in case. And of course, if you going to bug out of the city, you can always look onto your smartphone because that puts a bullseye inside of you. So if you have a map, it is a map of the city of Antwerp. So if you're going to evacuate from that city, you can know, oh, these are that street, I must go there, and you can avoid certain areas because if you know there is in an area there is a big mall or or a police station or places that are of the government are sensitive to riots, to plundering, to where criminals would go first to get their score during the chaos in a city. Yeah, you can avoid that by looking at the map. So yeah, a paper map always have one, and it's very small and flat to like you saw. And some people, especially American people, would say have a gun with you, and yeah, if you're going to use a gun in during a bugout, shoot for something small and reliable. So in this case, I would use a very small revolver, .38, and yeah, I would say keep it small and a revolver because you do not want to shoot a pistol that is more prone to jamming. It's all, yeah, it depends on what kind of a pistol and the maintenance, of course. But with revolver, I had never had the problem of a malfunction actually, and it's easier, it's quicker to reload, especially if you don't have, or if you only have one clip with how do you say this, with the pistol magazine. So yeah, if you only have one pistol magazine, this would be quicker to load and more easier to hide. And especially if you're going to hide it in jacket, I put my sport jacket around me so it's not that visible. But if you only walk around with this, make sure that it's not visible by the imprint where you're carrying it. Or you can wear a holster, but yeah, that's something else that could be more visible. So yeah. There's one more thing inside of the workout jacket, and that is a water filter. If you have a water source like a fountain or something where the rainwater have gathered, there could still be bacteria, especially in the city where there are a lot of pigeons. So a small water filter like this could go a very, very long way. So yeah, these are all the things that are in the bug out jacket and still make me look like a greyman. I'm gonna put this back on just to stay a little bit more into the mindset of a bug out, during a bug out. So what's in the backpack, how you would say? For a backpack, there are selective things I would put in, but the things that I'm able to lose, like losing or getting robbed or losing the backpack, that's something that you need to take in mind. So these are the secondary survival stuff. So like I said, half a bottle of water, so to make it look that you don't have much water. I will open this backpack. And the things that you probably need more quicker, because if you're going to bug out in a city, that's another thing I forgotten to say. If you're beneath my bug out jacket, I wear a woolen vest. Why? Because when it's very cold, especially in the winter in a city, and during the bug outs you need to find shelter to sleep. You cannot build a tent like on the countryside or in the wild. So you will have to sleep where there is enough cover against the rain, against the wind, and out of sight but you still have to try to get away, so you cannot unpack a sleeping bag or a woolen blanket. So try to make your clothing parts of your sleeping gear. So with a woolen sweater beneath it, with a bug-out jacket, and with this above it, yeah, that could could keep you very warm for a power nap during your bug-outs in a big city. But if you have to sleep in the rain, I have a rain poncho here inside of you that you could put around you. So yeah, that will come later. So that is one of the things. For quick energy, I would use this cola powder. Yeah, with this you can make 10 liters of cola. So if you're going to need some quick energy, you can drink it with the water, and yeah, it's a quick energy thing. You can also use power bars or candy bars or something else that give you quick energy and food, but I prefer these powders actually, to be honest. Yeah, a power bank. That is more for if you have a smartphone for navigating, or you can use it for yeah, for GPS or something else that you need to charge for your flashlights. Or yeah, in a city, it's not like in a wild where you can just make a campfire or a light or something else. A power bank could be very handy for several kind of electrical devices, especially when there is still some things you used with smartphones in the city, like if you have to go to a checkpoint, if you have to go into certain stores or identification or whatever you need, that you need an app for, you at least have a power bank to, especially during situation where they say you have to do it through to an app to a smartphone, but there is no electricity. Cities could be like that. A small first aid kit, something yeah, with the smaller things to very important. A crowbar, yeah, a crowbar could be handy to smash in windows, to open up doors, cabinets, anything that you need to scavenge or to escape from a building or to get into a building. Or in a lot of abandoned cars, there could be something, there could be still be some food, water, clothing, or something else of that could be useful during a survival situation with a crowbar. So yeah, I would advise, you don't need a big crowbar like Half-Life, but yeah, a small crowbar is easier to hide, it still be useful, but and yeah, you can also use a claw hammer, but this is much lighter, in my opinion. Um, Also have some gloves. Like I said, if you're going to sleep somewhere in the city outside, could get very cold, so get gloves, very important. And talking about together with the gloves, I would say get one of these balaclavas. Of course, woolen balaclava. If you're going to sleep in the city, close your jacket, carry your gloves, and put this around your face to keep your head warm. And yeah, that's way you could sleep outside in the city, in places where it could be very cold. So yeah, I would say always get one of these in your backpack bag, whether it's for the city, the wild, or for even for hiking. The shamak, I made a video about this, the 50 survival uses of a shamak, always handy. And if you find some extra food, water, or whatever, you can make a carrier bag or a improvised backpack, extra backpack with this, or for wounds or against dust or smoke or whatever, or to keep extra warm. You can use this. And yeah, let's see. A small emergency radio. This is one of those hand cranked. So yeah, it's important to be up to date about if the city is still trying to communicate with the civilians to say there are checkpoints now. There's this. The city is in lockdown, or this happened or yeah, where it could be saved, where are evacuation points. Yeah, this could be very handy, and it still has a flashlight. Could be handy, and also the detection system. So if you're going to sleep, it could be an early warning system to say if you're going to sleep and somebody else comes into the area. This has a sensor that will make a light go pop off, and that way you can prepare yourself to defend yourself, or to take your backpack and just run away. This is called the hobo technique. If you're going to sleep somewhere, always keep your backpack close with you. So if you're sleeping and you hear something, you can just take your backpack and just get out. So don't take anything out of the backpack. Always be ready to leave within 10 seconds. Another thing, And this could be a little bit too much, I know, but if I would be in a city, it could be that some places you cannot pass and you have to go rappel down. This one a climbing rope could be handy, or if the bridge is down, you can tie it to the bridge, because if we see in a lot of war footage, we see that there are a lot of bridges down and people, refugees, try to get out of the cities by climbing on these risky pieces of metal that are on the bridge that has collapsed. And yeah, some people fall into the water, they'll drown, or they'll get hypothermia and they die. So, or they sink because of the all the packages that they have as a refugee. So I would say if you're going to cross a broken bridge like that, you can try to put it, make it on one side and put the other side on you. So if you're going to fall into the water, at least you have something to pull you back up out of the water, or at least to pull you up that you do not sink with all the gear that you have, or to rappel down from a higher place, a wall, building, whatever, could be handy. Of course, food is another thing. So for food sources, I would say you don't have to be that big. You can just do it like this. If you can see, this is some oatmeal, a spork, a little thing to make bread in, so you can eat it cold. So yeah, that way you don't have to to cook some food. The same thing with the emergency ration, because in the city it's dangerous to make a fire, because if you're in a building making a fire, it could be that you set the building on fire. You don't want that, or a fire could be too visible for other people to see. And if you're going to make a fire to keep warm, that's a big no-no, because it will be, everybody could smell, see, and even hear it from a long time away. You have to be a gray man, you will not have to be seen. So with this, that's enough calories to get out of a big city. You don't have to get a whole MRE, just get some oatmeal that you can eat cold, and one MRE in case you meet somebody that you want on your dugout. Yeah, this is, like I said, this is my metal water bottle canteen. So yeah, there is also some extra pots on top of it, like a canteen camel, to gather some water in it while it's raining. So yeah, that way you can win some water in a container, filter it perhaps. So that could be handy. And it is something that's not, like I said, in contrary to the water bottle, plastic water bottle. With this you can still boil water. With this, yeah, which one would you rob? Is the question. Go on to the next. And this, like I said, the rain poncho. So in the rain, it could rain in a city, and during rain, not a lot of people are outside. But if you're going to have to sleep outside in the city, you can make an improvised shelter with this, in some alley or some place that you've broken in, or use it as a cover to sleep on, or to sit when it's not getting dirty, or whatever you need tarp for. Because I made a lot of good comments about the tarp or the rain poncho in my previous videos. So yeah, I would say look at those. And yeah, could also be used to gather rainwater. It has so many uses. And last one, this is yet again one of those bartering things. Yeah, I like some whiskey now and then, and it's also for disinfection. And I would also say, if you're gonna get robbed, and people say you only have that is the thing. Get a very good bottle of whiskey, but use one that is already a little bit half empty, because if you have a full bottle, they will think that you have more shit. If you only have a half a bottle of something valuable, they will kind of know that, oh, he probably don't have much more good shit. I will take this as a bartering item by bribing a policeman, a gang member, uh, whatever it is. You can bribe or barter with this, somebody with this. If it's a very good one, if it's one of the cheap shit, they will not bother. But if it's something very good that they never drank before, like this Scottish whiskey, yeah, it's possible to try it, or to bond with somebody, like with hobos or somebody else that you rarely know, you kind of know, but do not really fully trust. It's something that you can use to bond with. So yeah, or feed them drunk and get out while they are are getting hammered. So yeah, so this is the thing that I would use if I would bug out of a big city. My first advice is never go to a big city, but if you do not have a choice, yeah. But yeah, like I said, if somebody else knows some tricks, tips from people who are more into who are more urban, who are more into big cities, because yeah, like I said, I'm a country boy, so yeah, leave it in the comments those tips. I'm always eager to learn. Perhaps I will learn some urban survival techniques in this way. Please let me know. I'm always eager to learn. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and see you in the next video. So cheers.